Hey guys, it's Cam, Football Friend of Mine podcast, man, back with another video, man. So before I even get started, man, I want to give a big shout out, man, to our new sponsor, College Football Dogs, man, organization. Grateful to be partnering with them as far as getting our content out there and helping them grow, man. Great network, a lot of good podcasters over there, man. A lot of good editors, a lot of good producers, everything. So very, very blessed and happy to start this journey with them, man. So without further ado, man, let's get into this video, man. So the NFL draft has just passed. Teams are working to get their prospects signed. This is really the undrafted free agency time period where you missed the cut of the 200 plus draft picks and you're trying to figure out what team you should sign to, man. Because believe it or not, these undrafted free agents and the USFL, UFL type players too are going to be in training camp as well. So don't forget those guys because all it takes is one opportunity and then you own the team. So Cowboys getting Turpin was crazy, right? Turned out to be one of their most important weapons throughout the year. So yeah, so this is a great time to be a college football player, man. If you missed the cut as far as getting picked or whatever, but like I said, man, NFL draft just passed, so of course we look to 2025, right? So this will be my video of the way too early top 10 of the NFL draft going into next year, man. So not in any order, just the 10 prospects I'm looking forward to seeing, and I expect to see next year around this time in that top 10 range. You know what I'm saying? But right now, these are the top 10 prospects going into 2025. All right, so like I said, not in any order, but Emeka Abuka, I think that's his name. I probably butchered it, man. But Ohio State receiver, man, he's got the goods. Just another line of great receivers to come out of Ohio State, man. He gonna be the next one, man. I mean, he's got it all, man. Catch radius, route running, speed, leaping ability. You know, he can work the slot. He can do it all, man. So I expect him to be a top 10 pick next year. All right, so this one was kind of new. I had to do some research on James Pierce Jr. Man. So he plays at Tennessee. Um, he has some quickness and some size, man. So a lot of the mock drafts that I've seen have him going really high next year. So I'm not necessarily sure what it's going to be like, but I can see him having kind of a Jared Verse rise this season. Like I said, he's already picked to the top 10 next year, like in a lot of people's lists and everything. So I had to do some research, and he's got the goods, man. He's got the goods. He's got some speed. Like I said, he's got some size, man. But you know what? Being able to a guy like this around on your defensive line, maybe even your outside linebackers, but having a guy like this, versatility is key. So I think, you know, he could definitely sneak into that top 5 range because, believe it or not, a lot of people took offensive players this year. If you're in the top 10 and you take like a quarterback, you probably want to take a defensive player. And him coming, if he dominates the SEC like people project him to, then yeah, he should be in there. And a lot of these teams that pick quarterbacks this year are probably gonna pick him to be their defensive stalwart, best player. So I expect him to be in the top 10, man, just because edge rushers, I feel like it's gonna be a premium next season. So yeah, James Pierce Jr. Check him out. Let's see. All right, this guy, the big hoss, man. The big hoss, man. I'm trying to remember his name, bro. All right, there we go. Mason Graham. Mason Graham, Michigan, bro. A beast. A beast. You know, national champion. Going to be one of the front runners for a whole lot of hardware going into next season. So, what can you say, man? Interior rusher. You're gonna you're gonna figure out where you can put him. You can put him inside, you can put him outside, doesn't matter, man. But he's gonna be a sought after player for your defensive line, man. So if he's in that top 10, and like I said, it's not a deep quarterback class this year. So I expect defensive players to be drafted really high next year, man, because you're gonna need some defensive playmakers, man. You're gonna need him, and he can be one of those guys. So I look forward to seeing him get picked, but definitely Mason Graham, man. He's just as advertised, and I expect him to be in that top 10, man. So we'll see. All right, this guy right here, bro. I'm really looking, really looking forward to seeing this guy at the next level, man. We're talking Kelvin Banks Jr. Okay, so Kelvin Banks Jr. is big time, bro. He's a big time player. He's got size, not just height. We talking weight too, and you need that at the next level, man. But he's got some agileness to this big frame, man. And I'm looking forward to him being one of the top players taken, right? So if I see maybe two two linemen, maybe even three, going in the top 10 next year because, like I said, a lot of people took quarterbacks, man. So you need a left tackle, or if they're left-handed, a right tackle to protect their blind side, man. You need it. And Kelvin Banks fits the bill, man. So if he has success at Texas this year within their first year in the SEC, guess what? He's gonna be up there, man. So yeah. All right, so this guy, one of my favorite, most intriguing players, man, Travis Hunter from Colorado, man. So look, Travis Hunter, I expect to be a really interesting player, man, because he has a skill set that is unmatched. You can put him at receiver. You can put him at corner, man. Be the first two-way player that we've seen in a while, bro. So, should be interesting, man. I don't know. I really don't know how it's gonna go for him, man, because he projects as a pretty good receiver and as a pretty good corner, you know. So it just remains to be seen how an NFL team is going to use him. You know, I would hope that they do their homework and just let him do both ways, you know, because he can be a true asset and man, you can make a lot of money off of him. You know, being a two-way guy, he could be the first of many, you know, in this new era of college football. So or NFL football, should I say, man. So man, interesting, man. But his skill set alone, to me, has him in the top 10 of next year's NFL draft, man, because he's an intriguing prospect, man. You can't tell me that you're going to be able to find a guy that you can plug in anywhere, man. Like I said, if you wanted him not to play your outside receiver, put him at the slot, man. And if you wanted him to play your outside corner, you can do that, man. So I think that alone has him in the top 10 of for next year's draft. All right, so we get into this guy, man, Carson Beck, man. So if there's any quarterback, I had an opportunity to put a few on this list, man, but I feel like the SEC has gotten to the point where it's really good, bro. So, and out of all the quarterbacks in the SEC, he's the most consistent, in my opinion. And I feel like consistency is going to get him in the top 10, bro. Because, like I said, He doesn't really turn the ball over that much. I mean, he's really smart in the pocket, and he got some antelope in him, man. Some cheetah. He can get out of there if he get in trouble. So like I said, I think he will be in the top 10. And I think he's one of those first quarterbacks taken off the board, man. Like I said, I think a lot of the same teams that took quarterbacks this year probably won't be taking quarterbacks next year. There's going to be some new teams looking for quarterbacks, and you never know. So I think he should be on the list, man. If you reach on Carson Beck, you're still going to get a good quarterback because, like I said, he's careful with the football, and he just has a lot of skill set, man. He has a really NFL like skill set, man. He just takes what's there. He's not afraid to air it out either. But he's smart and he knows what he's doing, man. So like I said, I think he'll be in that top 10. All right, so we got our second cornerback. Like I said, defense is going to be key this next season, next draft, man. So I expect Mr. Will Johnson from Michigan to be on the list, man. He is a tough corner, man. Had a lot of good stats last season in one-on-one coverage. You just couldn't beat him. Couldn't get past him, man. But I like the fact that he's a tackler too, man. Like one thing I like from my corners, if I'm an NFL GM, is cornerbacks that are willing to tackle. Because sometimes, it bounces to the outside. And if you ain't ready to at least tackle him a little bit to slow him down, like, yo, I don't need you. And I think that's a very, very good asset for him, man. Because he has a lot, man. Gosh, he just has a lot of upside being a shutdown corner, man. And like I said, in today's NFL game, where it's all this passing, man, you need somebody that can stop your number one, man, at least. So I think he's going to be a top 10 prospect, and I expect him to go in that top 10 too, as we're speaking right now. You never know. Needs, teams, changes, but top 10 definitely, definitely. All right, my guy, man, the resident player from one of my favorite teams, man. But not even being a fan or a homer, man. Luther Burden is going to be in that top 10, bro. He's going to be in that top 10. Man, electrifying speed. He can play outside. He can play inside. You can run. He reverses. You can run all kind of different gadget plays with him. I wouldn't have him at returner, man, because he's going to be such an asset, man, as a top pick. I wouldn't have him back there like that. But he's that damn good that you could have him at returner and really be good at it. So I like him a lot, man. He's an electrifying player, bro, and you just can't teach instincts like that to make moves. Speed, agility, acceleration. When you get in the open field, people don't catch Luther like that. So I expect him to be in that top 10 and be an interesting player to be picked, man. It has to be somebody, like if you pick a player like Luther Burden, you have to have a plan for him. You just can't be like, hey, we got this shiny new toy, man. We're going to turn him into Larry Fitzgerald. We're going to just use him as a number one. He's going to be outside. Nah, man, you got to mix and match Luther Burden on the weakest defender all the time, bro, because he going to beat anybody. You can put him anywhere. He's a chess piece on offense, man. So it's really important to use him like that, man. So I expect big things from him at Mizzou this year, and he's gonna solidify that top 10 spot, man. So, like I said, man, Luther Burden the third. All right, so forgive me. I don't really know how to pronounce this guy's last name, but JTT, man. Gosh, Ohio State, bro. Jesus, this guy had one of the best games I ever seen at defensive end, outside linebacker, bro. Like, bro, he was good. He was good, man. He had like a couple sacks, forced fumble, defensive touchdown, bro. I was like, this dude is absolutely out of this world. Who is this guy? Well, he's a guy that's gonna be in the top 10, man. He's a difference maker, dog. A difference maker, and you need a guy that can play multiple defense, multiple parts on your defense, man. You need a guy that can line up inside, outside, stand up, as you see in the picture. Like, you need guys like this. Contain fast enough to play contain on like mobile quarterbacks. So like he's a difference maker, dude. So if he's not picked in the top 10, I'll be surprised, man, because he's that damn good, man. And like I said, Ohio State should be better on defense this year. Although I think a lot of their problems last year were like offensive base, which is crazy. But they blamed Kyle McCord last season for a lot of their issues. But I tell you, a player who wasn't blamed for it, JTT, is going to be one of those players that you got to draft because he's a difference maker, bro. Another great Ohio State defensive lineman. So I expect him to be in there, man. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. So. All right, so for my boy Brandon, man, gosh, this guy, Will Campbell, dude. Okay, so I think if I'm going out on a limb, this is probably the guy that has the best chance to go first overall. All right, one of the best offensive linemen in the country right now today. And I feel like maybe he would have came out if he could have came out last year. He probably would have been a top first round pick anyway. He's that damn good, man. Okay, so that's why I think he's gonna be one of the guys to go number one overall, man. Because depending on the team, which I think will be the Panthers, right? Because they're just going to be really bad this year. So that's my team for that first overall pick. And I think they need to draft an offensive lineman to protect Bryce Young, at least his blind side, and have a guy like him to start rebuilding your team. This is a good start. You don't need anybody else. You need a franchise left tackle to do what it do, man. I mean, we've seen teams that have struggled draft offensive linemen to just rebuild their whole team. You know, the Ravens with Jonathan Ogden, the Rams with Orlando Pace. You know, let's see, Trent Williams with Washington. You know, like these franchise left tackles, man, can reimagine your whole thing because they're the guy. They're what it is. That's how they're gonna do it, you know. And having a good left tackle, man, sets the tone for the whole offense, man. And with them having a new coach, a quarterback within his second year, and then you got to start somewhere. So I will start with Will Campbell, bro. That's a good start, man. I expect him to be probably the first player taken in the draft next year. But I also expect him, if he slips, to still be in the top 10. Like I said, he's that damn good. All right, so that was my top 10, man, of NFL prospects going into 2025 as we speak today. Let me know what you think, man. Did I miss some people? Who would have added, man? Get in that comment box and really get in there. Give us some feedback, man. So, like I said, we appreciate all of our subscribers, man. All of our followers on other social media platforms. But like I said, man, like, subscribe to this video, man. Let's keep growing. The growth has been crazy. So we appreciate it, man. But I'm Cam, Football Frame Mind Podcast, signing off.